All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling a huge and frankly chaotic topic: AI security. It's a field that's exploding right now, and we're going to break down the four key battlegrounds where a whole new generation of startups is fighting to define the future of digital defense. So, why all the urgency? Why now? Well, let this number sink in for a second. According to Gartner, a massive 80% of enterprises are already dealing with AI-driven attacks. This isn't some far-off sci-fi problem. It's happening right now, which makes the race to secure AI one of the most critical challenges out there. And here's the fundamental problem. Our old-school security tools, they just weren't built for this world. They're trying to police this new kind of interaction, but they're completely blind. They can't understand the context of an AI conversation or what a user is even trying to do. It creates these gigantic security gaps, and it's into that void that all these new AI native security startups are rushing. Okay, so to get a handle on this whole scene, we've broken it down into four main battlegrounds. First, we'll look at the vanguard. These are the attackers. Then, the guardians, who protect the AI lifecycle. After that, we've got the sentinels, who are all about enterprise governance. And finally, we'll look at the regulators, who are writing the rules for autonomous AI agents. First up, the vanguard. These are the companies with an offensive mindset. You know the old saying, the best defense is a good offense? Well, that's their entire philosophy, in a nutshell. They're all about finding and fixing the holes before the real bad guys even know they exist. So that leads to the big question, right? How do you actually do that? I mean, traditional pen testing is way too slow. It can't possibly keep up with AI models that are changing all the time. So how do you hunt for weaknesses in a target that's constantly moving? The answer? You fight AI with AI. It's that simple. These companies basically unleash their own smart systems to hammer on models and find the flaws first. Take Expo, for instance. They use autonomous agents to just go hunt for real vulnerabilities. Or Theory, who are doing amazing work in automated discovery. Then you've got Irregular, which acts like a high-tech stress testing lab for advanced models. And JustGuard focuses on red teaming, constantly poking and prodding to find ways to jailbreak an AI and bypass its safety features. And this quote from Dreadnought just nails it. The key word here is industrialize. It's about taking the art of hacking and turning it into a science, making it repeatable, scalable, and way more powerful than any human team could be on its own. This is about building a serious arsenal. So to wrap up the vanguard, it is all about being proactive, hitting your own systems before someone else does. As you can see, you've got specialists like Irregular doing deep dive evaluations, XBOW automating the whole pen testing game, and then companies like TrojanEye and SPLX AI offering end-to-end red teaming. They're all building the weapons to stay one step ahead. All right, we've covered the offense. Now let's flip the script and talk about defense. Meet our second group, the Guardians. Their mission is to bake security into AI systems from the absolute beginning, from the first design sketch all the way to when it's live in production. You see, securing AI isn't a one-and-done deal. It's not a checkbox you tick. It's a continuous process that has to live across the entire development lifecycle. We're talking design, build, deploy, and monitor. Security has to be there at every single step. For example, a company like Prime Security focuses entirely on that first stage, design, trying to squash risks before a single line of code is even written. And you can see that specialization right here. We just mentioned Prime Security handling design. Then you've got a company like HiddenLayer that covers a huge range, from scanning your supply chain during the build phase to defending the AI when it's running live. Fiddler is all about giving you eyes on the system once it's deployed, that critical real-time monitoring. And Deep Checks is kind of like your final quality control, making sure the AI is reliable before it ever goes out the door. So the big idea with the Guardians is total comprehensive coverage. It's about weaving security into the entire fabric of the AI lifecycle. From design stage help with Prime Security, to observability with Fiddler, to runtime defense with HiddenLayer, they're building a continuous thread of protection. And some companies, like Pillar Security, are aiming to be that one-stop shop for the whole shebang. Okay, on to our third category, the Sentinels. So far, we've talked about attacking AIs and defending the AIs you build. But what about the absolute wild west of AI tools that your employees are using every single day, with or without permission? That's the challenge of enterprise governance. And that brings us to this critical term, shadow AI. You've heard of shadow IT, right? Well, this is its new supercharged cousin. It's every AI tool that employees are using that IT and security have no idea about. Think about it. An employee pastes sensitive company data into some random, unvetted AI tool. Bam. You've got a massive blind spot and a potential data leak that your security team can't see or control. This is exactly the problem the Sentinels were born to solve. You have companies like Lasso, which monitors all interactions with large language models to detect risks in real time. Harmonic Security focuses on giving you deep visibility to see where your sensitive data is flowing. And Cranium helps you build a complete inventory of all your AI systems so you can actually get a handle on risk and compliance. Bottom line, the Sentinels are all about giving you visibility and control. Their whole world revolves around discovering shadow AI, preventing data leaks, and ensuring compliance. Companies like Lasso, Harmonic Security, and others are finally giving CISOs the dashboard they've been desperate for, so they can actually see what's happening across their company. And that brings us to our final and maybe most forward-looking category, the regulators. This isn't just about securing AI tools anymore. This is about securing the next evolution of AI, autonomous agents that can actually act on our behalf. Which, you have to admit, raises a pretty profound question. When an AI can book a flight or pay an invoice or access a database all by itself, it's not just a tool anymore. It's a non-human identity. So who governs that? How do you manage its permissions? How do you secure its access? Well, the regulators are building that foundational layer right now. You've got Zenity, which focuses on what they call AI security posture management, basically making sure agents are configured safely. Asterisk Security is a leader in securing all kinds of non-human, machine identities. Discope is building the login and authentication layer for these agents, and Noma Security is out there discovering risks and enforcing safeguards so this can all scale safely. So the crucial takeaway for the regulators is that they are creating the layer of trust that makes this whole agentic future possible. It's through things like posture management from Zenity, non-human identity from Asterisk and Clutch Security, and authentication from Descope that enterprises will actually be able to adopt this next wave of autonomous AI safely. So, after all that, where does this leave us? I mean, we've mapped out the entire battleground, but it really feels like an escalating arms race, doesn't it? The attackers use AI, so the defenders have to use AI, and the cycle just keeps going. We've covered the four main fronts in this new war. You have the Vanguard on offense, the Guardians providing defense in depth, the Sentinels establishing governance and visibility, and the regulators building the identity framework for our autonomous future. These are absolutely the categories to keep your eye on. But I want to leave you with one last thought. Right now, this is all about AI being used to attack and defend systems that humans built. But as we move toward a future where AIs are capable of building other AIs, well, that raises a fascinating and maybe a little unnerving question. Who or what is going to secure them? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.